Time they are born, a young racehorse is bred for stardom. Often greeted by the pageantry and fanfare fitting of young celebrity, they perform on racing's grandest stages. Today's blockbuster is the Arlington Million, where a group of European luminaries, Vesponi, Magistretti, Powers Court, and Apollo seek the spotlight. However, American standouts Mr. O'Brien, Sabiango, and Ron McAnally trained Sweet Return will be out to defend their home turf. The afternoon card also features the Beverly D Stakes, where rising stars Musical Chimes, Crimson Palace, and Commerçant look to bring down the house. The Alfred G. Vanderbilt Handicap will see Speightstown battle Gators and Bears for the limelight. And in the Sword Dancer Invitational, Request for Parole hopes to become the latest matinee idol. The international players are ready to shine as horse racing takes center stage on ABC. You are looking live at beautiful Arlington Park, northwest of Chicago. The feature here today, the Arlington Million. My kind of race in my kind of town. We'll also take you to famed Saratoga on this Super Saturday on ABC. The weather in both venues is beautiful. Couldn't be better. And look at our lineup. What a spectacular card here today. For those of you who like to pick four, dig in. We'll start with the Vanderbilt at Saratoga. Come back for a Grade 1, the Beverly D. Back to Saratoga for the Sword Dancer. And finally, we'll top it all off with the Arlington Million. 4 races, purses totaling in excess of $2.4 million. Welcome, everybody. What a pleasure to have you along with us. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Randy Moss, who's going to carry me right through the next 2 hours here, Randy. What a spectacular lineup we have here for the Million.
It is always fascinating when the Europeans send their horses over to the United States to compete against ours. But the last couple of years, it has been dramatic. 2 years ago, and pardon the visual aid here, the first 6 horses to hit the wire in the Arlington Million separated by about that much. Last year, it was a raucous finish. The first 5 about 6 feet or so apart. Now, admittedly, that's a tough act to follow, Brent, but this year on paper, the field looks even more evenly matched than those years.
I'm older than you are, my friend. At 81 when it began, was that much difference when John Henry won, you know. But we've got another great Grade 1 here, the Beverly D.
Yeah, the Arlington Million and the Beverly D are both on grass. The Arlington Million, of course, typically draws the best of the American male grass horses, and the Beverly D will get the best of the female grass horses. And the Beverly D, just as important in the female turf division as the Arlington Million is to the boys.
All right, Randy, and we're going to start our Super Saturday coverage at Saratoga. So let's send you now to Jay Privman. Jay?
Thanks very much, Brent. Well, we've got a beautiful afternoon here at Saratoga for our 2 races, the Vanderbilt and the Sword Dancer. And as usual at Saratoga, the focus is on jockey John Velasquez and trainer Todd Pletcher. As they were last year, they are leading the standings here at Saratoga, and they're the ones to beat in our 2 big races. They have Speightstown, who's the favorite in the Vanderbilt, and Balto Star, who looks like the one to catch in the Sword Dancer. Thea Andrews and Hank Goldberg, part of our team here today at Saratoga. The pick 4 is all about Hank Goldberg. A lot of people are going to be singling Speightstown on their pick 4 tickets. The Hammer's in line. I wonder if he's going to do the same.
I'm not bold enough to single, but remember Tom Cruise in Risky Business? He said, sometimes in life you got to just say to yourself, what the heck? $400,000 guaranteed NTRA National Pick 4? Hey, I'm not called a Hammer because I'm shy, so let's step up. The Alfred Vanderbilt, Speightstown's the speed of the speed, and Clockstar for quality closer. Start with those 2. In the Beverly D, I'm going 3 deep with Aubon, Badonkin, who's 2 for 2 at Arlington, and Commerçant. Balto Star's the one to catch in the Sword Dancer, and B.A. Way is a price shot. 4 for the Million, Mr. O'Brien, Kickin' Chris, Apollo, and Powers Court. $96. May be a little steep, but what the heck?
Hank, I'm sold. I'm following you to the window. But, you know, it's not all about betting. A day at the races here at Saratoga is like stepping back in time. It's the oldest race course in the country and certainly one of the most beautiful and unique. Later on in the show, we're going to tell you a little bit about its rich history and show you what makes it such a special place. Brent?
All right, Thea, and what a special place it is, and what a rich, rich history there at Saratoga. Now, Janine Edwards is the third member of our team. And Janine, you know, Randy mentioned all the European invaders, and there are some very interesting stories involving their travel here to Chicago.
You're right, Brent. You know, like the Olympics, Arlington Racecourse is enjoying an elite international competition at its finest today. One of the unique features here at Arlington is its USDA-approved permanent quarantine facility. Upon arrival, the foreign horses have their blood drawn by an approved vet. It's then sent to a federal lab in Iowa for testing. And until those results come back, which usually takes about 24 hours, those horses are not permitted to leave the barn for any reason, not even to nibble grass. But this well-traveled group is accustomed to that. The equine athletes we'll see in our races today have passport stamps from 14 different countries on 5 continents. So, Brent, it truly is an international festival of racing.
Indeed it is, Janine, and expensive. To fly a thoroughbred from Europe, it costs $7,000. The first race on our card today from Saratoga will be the Vanderbilt. That is coming up next when Super Saturday continues on ABC.
The only minivan with 2 rows of fold-in floor seats. The all-new 2005 Grand Caravan.
Come on in, Dad.
I'll finish that in the morning. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash for a combined cash allowance of $2,000.
His bloodlines run back 100 generations. His inheritance is speed, stamina, and courage, along with breathtaking beauty. And with careful management in the hands of experienced men and women, they will also be his legacy. Legacy. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations.
What are you holding now?
A 6-pack.
A 6-pack? Brilliant! What's it do?
Well, I figured out how to carry 6 beers at the same time.
Carry 6 beers at the same time? Brilliant! Let's drink them.
You know, I've been thinking, it might not be the smartest idea to drink 6 beers at the same time.
Don't drink 6 beers at the same time. Brilliant!
Brilliant!
Drink Guinness draft straight from the bottle, and always enjoy it responsibly.
Brilliant!
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.?
Sure, Martin.
Hey, get this to Dale Jr.
Yeah.
This is Dale Jr. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep. Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with your picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
The game starts the minute you walk into the house.
16 people, one self-made billionaire who will make someone a millionaire if they have what it takes.
Let's play.
The Benefactor premieres Monday, September 13th, only on ABC.
There is a game that fills the senses and thrills like no other. A game that touches the heart and tests the brain. A game for old-timers and first-timers. For families and big fans. A game you don't just take in, it takes you in.
They are fast, real fast. There's not much finesse or strategy involved here. They run hard every step of the way. The track record for 6 furlongs at Saratoga is 108. It could be in jeopardy today. You'll want to keep your eyes on Gators and Bears, a Cinderella horse for his owner-trainer, Leo DeChampion. They'll have to catch the speedy Speightstown, who is undefeated in 2004. Will it be the big favorite or a long shot? We'll soon find out in the Vanderbilt Handicap. Quite a contrast in facilities here on Super Saturday. Arlington Park, rebuilt after that disastrous fire in the mid-'80s, and then, of course, the oldest plant in all of racing, Saratoga. Let's send you back there now, and here's Thea Andrews.
Well, Brent, Saratoga may be the oldest race course in the country, but its appeal is timeless. There's something here for everyone, whether you're a jet setter or an average Joe. To the casual observer, Saratoga is as close to perfection as one could hope to find in the sporting world. Dawn sets the mood on the 350-acre site as horsemen prepare their thoroughbreds for the 6 weeks of high stakes and high drama at America's oldest race course. Morning coffee is served in silhouette just feet from the track where the horses thunder by. Much is the same here today as it was years ago. It's an intimate setting filled with tradition. The simple ring of a bell calls the horses to the paddock. They pass so close to the crowds on their way, you can look them right in the eye. And there's also the chance to meet your favorite jockeys as they too pass through their fans between races.
Have a good race.
Just across the street from the track sits the National Museum of Racing. The Racing Hall of Fame's honor roll is a who's who of the great names of the sport, past and present. Jockey Kent DeSormo, the Cajun who came out of the swamps of the Bayou of Louisiana, received racing's highest honor here in a ceremony on Monday. Yes, Saratoga is the place to be in the summer for horses, health, and high times. Coming up later in the show, we're going to see Kent DeSormo racing at Arlington in the Beverly D on Musical Chimes, and then in the Arlington Million on Kicking Chris. So, Jay, let's keep an eye out for him and see if he's got that Hall of Fame glow.
We've got our own Hall of Famer right here next to me. That's our own Hank Goldberg. And Hammer, the first of our 4 races, only moments away. The horse is coming on the track for the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. 6 furlongs on the main track. This is part of the Breeders' Cup Sprint Division for horses who are trying to get to the Breeders' Cup at the end of October. And Speightstown is one of the leaders in the World Thoroughbred rankings among this division. Right now, he is considered second best to Pico Centro, who just happens to be running tomorrow at Del Mar. Well, how did Speightstown get to this point? By winning 3 straight races this year, 2 of which occurred on very big days. The first of which was the Churchill Downs Handicap on Kentucky Derby Day. He led from start to finish in this race, and that really is his best weapon, is that blazing early speed. It's carried him to 8 wins in 13 lifetime starts. And as jockey John Velasquez, red hot today, he's already won 3 races. Last time out, on Belmont Stakes Day, he won the True North. And Hank, what impressed me this day was that he was able to sit behind horses and then go on and win.
Well, what impresses me besides that, Jay, is that his 3rd win this year came earlier at Gulfstream. So he's 3 for 3 on 3 different race courses. He's 0 for 2 here at Saratoga, but he's running his best right now. His last 2 races were sensational, and he is, I think, in a relatively, for a 6-horse field, a lot of pace being here. He, I think, is the speed of the speed.
Well, let's take a look at this 6-pack that's going to be going postward in the Vanderbilt right now. Speightstown, number 2. The odds-on favorite at 4-5. Clock stopper from the rail is at 7-2. And as we look at the second half of the field, you'll see that Gators and Bears is right now at 5-1. Gold Dollar, the longest shot on the board, at 23-1. Let's take a closer look now at Speightstown as he warms up on the track here. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez. I mean, there's no getting past these guys. As we mentioned, Velasquez has won 3 already today. Pletcher's already got a winner. I mean, you can't look past these two, Hank, can you, when you're looking at races at Saratoga?
It's become routine up here, as you said. A horse I'm interested in is, well, we can talk about Gators and Bears for a moment, who's kind of an interesting horse. I think more of the speed factor in this race. Leo Nachampkin. He's the trainer and owner. He's an accountant by trade, but when he was 21, he started out as a horse trainer and then became an accountant, and now he's back to training, and this horse will be part of the pace.
He does a little bit of both. He's an interesting guy. He's the CFO of an architectural firm called Design Collective. Bought this horse for $8,500, Hank, and he's now earned more than $616,000. But what do you make of a horse coming to Saratoga who's never raced here before? This horse has never run over this track.
Big disadvantage for him.
So let's take a look at a couple other of the horses in here, Clock Stopper and Mike's Classic. But first off, we're going to go back to Chicago and get some opinions from Randy Moss.
Well, Randy, Speightstown, you and I talked about this earlier. A lot of folks singling him, but is there a chance that someone can burn him off at all on top?
It is a possibility. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Speightstown, and his last race in the True North was nothing short of sensational. But there is another horse in the race called Mike's Classic, who also has a lot of early speed. And like the old ditty goes, nary a man alive who ever made money at 4-5. So why not try to take a chance against Speightstown? And I think Gators and Bears could be sitting in the perfect spot in 3rd place and has a chance for an upset.
Stick around when I go to those pari-mutuel windows, will you, my friend? So we're going to come back and we're going to send you to Saratoga for the running to the Vanderbilt with Jay and Hank when we continue on ABC in just a moment.
No, 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 wrong.
Mayday, mayday.
Not a good time.
Exactly. Not a good time. I said it. I don't like it.
My client? How bad?
What is with the marble? Very, very bad. People don't listen. Too many trees.
Doing the smile thing.
This is a joke, right? Doing it now.
Relax. You're under budget.
We're under budget. We're under budget. We're under budget. I love it. Loves it.
Oh. Coast to coast walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
Some people say athletes shouldn't be looked at as role models. We say maybe those people are looking at the wrong athletes. Argent Mortgage proudly sponsors some of sports' finest. Ask your mortgage broker about an Argent loan.
Sorry to do this, Stan, but you're fired.
You're firing me?
I just said you're fired.
You can't fire me.
Why not?
Because I quit.
You can't quit, Stan.
Why not?
Because I already fired you.
Well, I decided to quit last Wednesday.
Well, I decided to fire you last Tuesday.
Well, I started using FedEx Kinkos. So when we use FedEx Ground, we could ship for up to 35% less than at the UPS store, saving us a ton of money.
Certainly will. When can you start?
Start today.
Welcome aboard, Stan.
Thank you.
The new FedEx Kinkos. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it. Our office is your office.
Our goal for Arlington Park is to be the very best. After the fire, we wanted to rebuild a world-class operation. When we need an aircraft, we need it now. In our business, we go all over the world. NetJet is right there on the spot. The reliability, the service, quality, safety, these are all things that you can't buy someplace else. Time is money. With NetJet, you get on the plane, you go. If we aren't there first, our competitor will be there. There are no seconds in business.
NTRA Super Saturday on ABC Sports, brought to you by NetJets. Leave nothing to chance. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports.
Welcome back to Arlington on Super Saturday. And, of course, our first race about to unfold at fabled Saratoga. A great crowd on hand. So let's send you back now to Jay Privman. Jay?
Stopper, there's a lot of pace in front of him,
And welcome back to Saratoga Racecourse. The Vanderbilt only moments away. We looked at a couple of the horses already. Let's take a look now at the odds as they get closer to starting this race. Spikestown, the favorite in the race, along with Gators and Bears, is the third choice at 5-1. Clockstopper, Hank, is the 5-2 second choice right now. And this is a horse trained by Dallas Stewart, like Todd Fletcher, a former assistant to D. Wayne Lucas. What do you think of his chances?
I think they're very good. He has a lot of pace to chase here. He's had a race over this course, or he's had actually 4 races over this course, 1 first and 2 seconds, as we take a look at Clockstopper. And I really like his chances because he's the only legitimate closer in the race.
And as you mentioned, you think there's a lot of speed in here. Only moments ago, we heard Randy Moss saying he thinks Spikestown worth taking a shot against as well. You know, like when you come up to Saratoga and you've got big races, the one guy that you can never overlook is Alan Jerkins. He is the trainer of number 3 Mike's Classic. He has knocked off the likes of Kelso and, more importantly, Secretariat during his long and distinguished Hall of Fame career.
Well, this horse will also be a part of the pace, but that's why they call Jerkins the giant killer, and he's, as Jay said, had scored many an upset on this oval.
His jockey is a very interesting story as well. Ray Ganpath does not ride very often. In fact, he's only had about 65 mounts so far this year. And Ray Ganpath, a native of Trinidad, he's only been in the United States for about 4 years. Let's take a look now at number 4, My Cousin Matt. He's trained by one of the leading trainers in the country, and that is Scott Lake. And this is another horse, Hank, who's kind of versatile. He can lay a little bit off the pace, or he can take it to you as well.
Lake's very good with sprinters, too, isn't he, Jay?
Very much so.
I think he'll be another one who will be part of the pace today, and that's why I think that Clockstopper has such an excellent chance, because all these horses we're talking about are going to be either the speed of the race or the tactical speed.
And My Cousin Matt, as we mentioned, trained by Scott Lake. This is a horse who in his race before last had some trouble against Gators and Bears. He bled in that race. and he's on Lasix, but he bled through the Lasix then, and that's an unusual thing to happen with a horse who was treated with Lasix. Came back and ran a very good race last time, finishing right with Clock Stopper in a race at Calder. Well, they're starting to go into the gate now for the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. Let's take a look at the track and stakes record for this race. The track record held by one of the greats, Spanish Riddle, 108 flat. That was set back in 1972. The track announcer here at Saratoga is Tom Durkin. Let's go up now to the top of the stands, and he'll hear him call the Alfred G. Vanderbilt.
Final horses moving into line. My Cousin Matt, Gators and Bears, and Gold Dollar. One suspects that Speightstown will be the early leader, but I'm pretty sure that Gold Dollar is going to be the early trailer. He's got nowhere near the speed of the rest of these. He's the last one to move in here. There he is in your picture going into post position number 6 for the 20th running of the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. They are in the gate. And they're off. And it's Mike's Classic who gets out there first, but wasting no time. Speightstown's coming up and after the lead. Mike's Classic, Speightstown going head-to-head in the early going. Gators and Bears not far behind in third. Then there's a break of 5 lengths. Back to Clock Stopper on the inside, and My Cousin Matt. And the early trailer is Gold Dollar. Gold Dollar about 12 lengths from a speed duel up front, and they rip through a quarter in 22 seconds flat. Mike's Classic and Speightstown going at it. Full throttle around the far turn. Mike's Classic a narrow lead. Speightstown right there. Gators and Bears just a length behind them. 5 lengths back to Clock Stopper. Robbie Alvarado says go with Clock Stopper as the field turns for home. On the outside, Mike's Classic. Speightstown at the rail. Here's Gators and Bears to join the fray. Clock Stopper is fourth. There's 1 furlong to go. And Johnny Velasquez is asking Speightstown for everything he has. And he is giving it to him. Opening up here. Turning back the challenge of Mike's Classic. A late run coming from Clock Stopper on the outside. But they cannot catch Speightstown, who wins by a length and a half. Clock Stopper was second. Gators and Bears finishing third. The final time was 1:08 flat. That equals the track record, equals the track record of Spanish Riddle and beats the stakes record of Prospect Bay.
An absolutely spectacular performance by Speightstown, equaling the track record, setting a new stake standard here in the Alfred G. Vanderbilt. And Hank, this was an amazing race. I mean, he was challenged early. He took it away and went on. Mike's Classic, not the winner. In fact, it was Speightstown, number 2, is the official winner of the race. But Mike's Classic took it to him early, didn't he?
Mike's Classic had him engaged early. He had the lead, actually, at the half-mile point in the race, but Speightstown just wouldn't give it an inch. And he had the inside, which was a little bit of an advantage when he turned for home, and that's when he really got the gas and pulled away.
4 winners today for jockey John Velasquez. Todd Pletcher wins his second on card. I'll tell you what, we are finding out more and more why these guys are the dominant jockey and trainer here at Saratoga. Here they are now, about a quarter mile from the finish line as they turn into the stretch. That's Speightstown on the inside. Mike's Classic is second with the yellow blinkers, and looming up on the outside third is Gators and Bears.
And then coming later on, of course, is Clock Stopper, who got up to second for the exacted, but there was no question at this point who the winner was going to be. Speightstown, you can see him here just getting the whip a couple of times, but he is far the best in this race, and I think this establishes him at the top of the sprinter list.
He's 4 for 4 this year as Speightstown. Let's go back now to Chicago and Brent Musburger.
All right, so Randy, a very impressive record, equaling a 22-year-old mark. And would you now move him? Would you agree with Hank, moving to the top of the sprinters?
Yes, I would. I would definitely, because it's when you have a horse like Speightstown who's capable of running 108 flat and setting stakes records and tying track records, that's one thing. I mean, that's impressive enough. But when those horses can go head-to-head in very fast fractions, look another horse in the eye, and then kick away in the stretch and finish strongly, those are the kind of horses that go on to run well in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, which this year will be at Lone Star Park in October. So he definitely is a horse to keep an eye on.
So unofficially, Speightstown, and for those of you who singled him in the pick 4, you got it going. And if you were Hank Goldberg, you even had the exacta. How about that? Gators and Bears winding up third. And a reminder now that a week from Monday, we've got a Show Me State showdown when the St. Louis Rams take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Monday Night Football preseason special, Monday, August 23rd, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television. Randy, as we take a look at what was really a small field, when Sprightstown looking ahead to the Breeders' Cup, he'll be dealing with a lot more horses when they break from the gate than 5.
He will be dealing with a larger field, and he will probably be dealing with a faster pace. I mean, you've got some other sprinters in the country. Pico Central is a top sprinter that Jay said runs tomorrow at Del Mar. Ghost Zapper, trained by Bobby Frankel, is a very, very fast horse early. But what Spikestown has shown is not only the ability to look another horse in the eye and finish, but he's shown versatility. In the race before this, he broke first in the True North. Another horse named Cat Genius rushed up to take the lead. He set in second. Then he came again and won the race impressively that way, too.
Randy, why do thoroughbreds frequently in that situation, why are they unable to come back?
Thoroughbreds are creatures of habit, and when you get a horse that's accustomed to having the early lead, their confidence swells. They think that's where they're supposed to be, and if that's taken away from them, sometimes they lose the confidence and fall apart. Not Spikestown.
All right, let's find out what that 4 to 5 price was. Let's send you back to Jay and Hank.
Thanks very much, Brent. There is jockey John Velasquez weighing out after that speedy victory by Spikestown. This horse is 6 years old. He's only run 14 times, and that's because from August of 2001 until May of 2003, he was off the racetrack. He had serious ankle problems to the point where he needed surgery. He ran twice in 2003, needed another 10 months off, but they finally got everything right with this horse because there is no one better on the Eastern Sprint Division right now. Here again, picking up the horses as they go around the far turn. You can see there as they went around the turn, John Velasquez took a little peek behind him. I don't really quite know what he was looking at because he was on the rail. Maybe he wanted to see the condition of the turf course for the Sword Dancer. But Spikestown hooked by Mike's Classic early. Gators and Bears makes a run at him here, and Clockstopper was in the middle of the track making a late run. But I'll tell you what, for a horse to show this kind of speed, to be challenged throughout, and to still kick away and equal the track record is as good a performance as you are going to see in the Sprint Division. So Spikestown, 4 for 4 this year, and it looks like he'll be going up the World Thoroughbred rankings. Let's take a look at the payoffs for this race. Spikestown, the odds-on favorite, pays $380 to win it. Clockstopper running second, and Gators and Bears comes on for third. The 215 trifecta pays $20. Let's go down now to the winner's circle, where Hank Goldberg is standing by with the winning connections.
Well, John Velasquez, the winning rider, and you were challenged early by Mike's Classic in this race. Were you a little nervous at the top of the stretch, or did you realize that you had him?
I was more nervous at the first part of the race, not on the top of the stretch. I mean, I was nervous that we get hooked up over the whole weight and burn ourselves out, but, you know, the first quarter of a mile, first 3/8 of a mile. On the top of the stretch, when he switched, he was in another gear, so I wasn't even worried then. I was worried the first quarter of a mile.
Todd Pletcher, another great training job. Is this the best sprinter in the country right now, you think?
Well, he's been perfect this year, so it's hard to argue against that. You know, he's impressive today. Like Johnny said, when you ask him at the top of the stretch, I mean, after going 44 and chain, he cuts and finds another gear, so couldn't get much better than what he did today.
Tied a record and broke one today.
Excellent performance.
Okay, we got to send it back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Hank, thank you very much. And now on Super Saturday, we will turn our attention to the fillies and the mares on the turf. The Beverly D, mile and 3/16, and $750,000 purse and a great international field.
Now, this race hasn't been around quite as long as the Arlington Million. This will be the 15th running of the Beverly D. But, you know, what's interesting about this race is that the Breeders' Cup has actually enhanced the Beverly D's appeal, because the filly and mare turf division sort of fell by the wayside before the advent in 1999 of a race called the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, which rekindled interest in that division, and now the Beverly D is more important than ever.
All right, Randy. We'll take a look at our field for today's running of the Beverly D. 11 horses in there, and the U.S. entry Musical Chimes, of course. The number 4 horse is certainly one to watch, coming off a huge win out west. Kent DeSormo is here, and the Hall of Famers, well, we got Pat Day, we got Mike Smith, Jerry Bailey. I mean, this is the International Festival of Racing at Arlington Park, and the Hall of Famers are here. And Don Pettinger, a familiar rider on an interesting horse, Bedanken, Randy.
Bedanken certainly knows how to win. She is a local horse stepping up in class, but when you know how to find the winner's circle like Bedanken, you've always got to consider her a threat.
And on the outside, Commerçant with Jerry Bailey up, certainly one to watch. And Victor Espinoza will be in the irons on Cuero. Now, we mentioned Kent DeSormo, and Janine caught up with him earlier today.
Well, Brent, Ken DeSormo is a 3-time Eclipse Award winner. He also has 2 SB awards and now the newest member of Racing's Hall of Fame. Put into perspective what that means to you to be in the Hall.
Well, I tell you, it certainly feels like a feeling of accomplishment. I feel very proud from within. And, you know, I've been in this situation being interviewed and whatnot, saying speeches, and I thought I'd be able to go over there and just spit it out, you know, thank you, everybody. And it was just overwhelming. And I think what was mostly overwhelming was knowing that the fact that all these people who've helped me achieve that, including my parents, and then to have them sitting right in front of me, you know, getting emotional in front of me, that I had this whole speech and I just skipped right down to the bottom and said, thank you guys, and had to get off. I had to swallow a couple frogs. So,
well, it
overwhelming.
Certainly is an emotional moment. And you've won a lot of stakes. So today in the Beverly D, you will partner up with Musical Chimes, filly that you rode last time in the Maybe Handicap at Del Mar. And you were quoted after the race as saying that it was one of the most impressive performances you had experienced. Why was that?
Well, she just ran out of her skin. I had never seen a horse that just outdid a field with such ease in years. The last race I can remember a horse winning this easy was actually in Dubai, and Stevens rode a horse that he cantered to the 16th pole and let him go 40 yards. So it was just an ultimately impressive race on her part.
Well, you know, Randy, that horse started in France. So really, in a way, it's a semi-import, I guess, but one big in the U.S. here.
And that was actually her first victory in the U.S. Her 2004 campaign has been a little botched up because trainer Neil Drysdale couldn't find races for her against the fillies. He had to run her against the boys first 2 times out. But boy, as you saw in the Maybe, she's back on track now.
Well, the public is probably going to like Musical Chimes with Kent DeSormo. The recent addition to the Hall of Fame will be in the saddle today. 2-1, the latest odds. And we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.? Sure, Martin. Hey, get this to Dale Jr.
Yeah, this is Dale Jr.'s. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep. Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with your picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
NFL opening kickoff with Elton John, Destiny's Child, Toby Keith, and more. Thursday, September 9th on ABC.
From Tarzan as a detective to Amish people from outer space.
Think of the possibilities.
Maybe it sounded silly then, but it's even funnier now. They're your favorite stars in an all-new special.
What kinds of shows are these?
The best TV shows that never were. Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Ready to take it for a spin?
Sure, let's do it.
Excited?
I'm excited. Tomato red?
Tornado red. Let's go.
Right now, for a limited time, Volkswagen is having a summer sales drive. This means great deals on a Jetta, Passat, any Volkswagen you like. It also means we're working hard. Really, really hard. Now available with 0% financing. The Passat. Come drive it. You'll get it.
Now let's go. I got one, want one, gotta get one, gotta have one.
You gotta eat.
Rallies. Where'd you get it? Let me have it, gotta get it, now you got it, yeah.
You gotta eat.
Rallies. Well, alright. Cool, you got that.
You gotta eat a Rally's Mushroom Swiss Burger or Crispy Fish Sandwich, just 99 cents. Your choice. Mushroom Swiss Burger or Crispy Fish Sandwich, just 99 cents at Rally's.
Yeah. Give me that. You gotta eat.
Shop Watson's gigantic birthday celebration for 40 to 70% off on over 200 Viking, Caldera, and Cal spas. 5 models clearance price just $16.88. No more than $28.88. Plus, no payment, no interest for 1 full year. Only at Watson's.
Thinking of a new home with award-winning floor plans, an extensive array of standard features, and customer service beyond compare? Think TR Hughes. If you can imagine it, we can build it. For information on our communities, visit trhughes.com.
The Simpsons, weeknights at 6 on ABC 30.
They run for a $750,000 purse in the Beverly D, but they may also be running for a championship. 4 of the last 8 Eclipse Award winners in the filly and mare turf division have won this race. Today's stars include Commerçant for trainer Bobby Frankel. European invader Crimson Palace might be the best of the 3 from overseas. But they'll all have to beat Musical Chimes, who won her last start like a champion in the making. They're almost ready to run in the Beverly D at Arlington.
And as expected, Musical Chimes is being backed by the public now, being bet down as the favorite here in the Beverly D at 2-1. But what's interesting is the 10 horse at 7-2 now. Commerçant, late money coming in. And why not? I'll tell you, Randy, anytime Bobby Frankel is training and Jerry Bailey is in the side, you've got to respect those connections.
They each have 2 wins in the Beverly D to their credit, and Commerçant certainly is good enough to give them a third. Commerçant has only had 1 start in the United States. She came over from France to Bobby Frankel's barn. That start was at Belmont Park in an allowance race, and you won't see many moves on the grass better than this. She roars up on the outside. She goes on to win this race by 11 1/4 lengths. Now, this race was 3 months ago, okay? So you wonder what happened to her since then. And I've heard about a lot of things that can go wrong with thoroughbred racehorses. They're fragile and everything. This is the first for me. Commerçant was in a cockfight. A rooster flew into her stall. She didn't like it, obviously. It scared her. She slammed into the wall of the stall. She cut her shoulder severely. They had to stitch her up, so now they got her back. She's healthy and ready to roll.
What happened to the rooster?
I was afraid to ask what happened to the rooster.
We've got some powerful stables here, Randy. Crimson Palace being ridden by the great Frankie Dettori from Europe.
The 2 most powerful stables in the world, in fact, are represented in this race, and some of our American viewers might be surprised to know neither are based in America. Crimson Palace, those blue silks, are very familiar to international racing fans. Godolphin Racing, based in Dubai. Frankie Dettori, one of the most popular, if not the most popular jockeys in Europe and one of the best. But neither Godolphin or Dettori have ever won the Beverly D. Crimson Palace coming off a disappointing race in England in her last start. But they say, hey, she came back good after the race. Why not go ahead and give her a chance here?
And then Necklace is from the other powerful stable.
Necklace is from the Coolmore stable, which is based in Ireland. And they are an extremely vast stable. Trainer Aidan O'Brien handles that string. And sort of like Crimson Palace, Necklace is also not in the best of form. 4 straight poor races. So, you know, her stock has dropped in England. She can't compete against the best 3-year-old fillies there. She's a 3-year-old. So let's come here and try the Americans.
Now, Oban, first U.S. start, and that horse is receiving some backing, being bet down now to 6-1, the 2 horse.
Oban was originally 30-1 in the program line, and the Europeans who were over here for this race, not only the media members, but also the other trainers and owners, were salivating at the thought of getting 30-1 at Oban. They said, we think she's got a great chance to win, and obviously somebody's listening to them because she is really being bet down. She's coming off a win in her last start at Longchamp, a racetrack just outside of Paris.
Again, this is a 1 3/16 on the turf. Fillies and mares, 3 years old and upward. And they're going into the starting gate here at Arlington. And we're going to send you up above now to the race caller here, John G. Dooley.
Brent Musburger, thank you very much. 1 more to load here at Arlington Park. That's Quiero and Victor Espinosa.
Out of the way.
22-1, Quiero. Here's Quiero to complete the field. And the gate. And they're off in the Beverly D. Musical Chimes breaks well. Risk Averse and Oban from that inside post. No Chase de Rosa. And here's Crimson Palace in the Godolphin Blue tugging Frankie Dettori up toward the front. There's not much pace early on here in the Beverly D. And it's Musical Chimes that she finds herself in front with 1 mile to go. From the German-bred filly Oban, and Crimson Palace is hard held right there running 3rd. Risk Averse is 4th. No Chase de Rosa 5th as they make their way into this clubhouse turn. And Commerçant in a fine spot there early on under Jerry Bailey, and Necklace rides the rail right at Risk Averse's heels. Chacanage is also in a very claustrophobic spot there. These leaders are closely knit as they're being slow-paced. Farther back is Bedankin, Odd, and Quiero is last of the 11. The opening quarter, 24-4. Firm ground this at Arlington Park, and it's Oban and Edgar Prado in front, and Musical Chimes just outside of her quarters. Crimson Palace is up and on the scallop, running a close third from Risk-Averse. No Change de Rosa running in fifth. Necklace is sixth. Cormorant in the clear seventh now, with 4 furlongs to go in this 15th Beverly D. Chacanage is 7 lengths from leader Alban. Then further back is Odd. Outside that, as they move toward the far turn, is Bedankin, and Kiero remains last. They went 6 furlongs at 1:15 and 2 around the sweeping far turn, and the German-bred filly Alban is moving well, and Musical Chimes is right there, well within range. Crimson Palace is coming up under Dettori. Risk-Averse, Cormorant still 4 from these leaders, and Bedankin's the gray on the far outside as they turn for home. Here's Crimson Palace. Crimson Palace coming up now. Musical Chimes gets her cue from Kentis Sormo. Alban staying on at the rail. Necklace threading through. Risk-Averse, Bedankin on the outside. They're coming inside the final half a furlong. It's Crimson Palace. Gaining ground is Risk-Averse. On the outside, Necklace. It is Crimson Palace for Godolphin in the Beverly D. Crimson Palace has won it in 1:56 and 2. It's close for second between Necklace and Risk-Averse in the running of the Beverly D.
Frankie Dettori wins the Beverly D for the first time. He was 0 for 4. And Randy, a horse that started her career in South Africa, where she won 4 of 6, was purchased and comes in here and scores big at Arlington.
And before this race, I guarantee you the people at Godolphin, the Brain Trust, were perhaps second-guessing their decision to purchase Crimson Palace, because she'd been more or less a disappointment to them in the 3 starts that Crimson Palace had for them, 2 in England and 1 in Dubai. But she certainly went a long way toward rectifying that. And there is Crimson Palace's trainer, Saeed Ben Saror, the world traveler, born in Dubai, the son of a policeman, who's done such a great job with the Godolphin horses over the years, and a much improved effort here by Crimson Palace.
We take another look at this, and Randy, it is a photo finish for place, and the winner's right in between them. It's going to be a tough photo as you watch the finish.
It is, and you see Musical Chimes 1 off the rail there, had dead aim on the pace setter Oban with Kent DeZormo. I thought at that point that Musical Chimes was going to be awfully tough to beat, but Frankie Dettori just outkicked her there, and you can see it is very close there for second between the 5 horse on the outside, which was Necklace, and the 1 horse Risk-Averse right toward the inside there.
So the Europeans strike first with Crimson Palace, the unofficial winner of the Beverly D, and they say that Risk-Averse is second. Up next at Saratoga, can trainer Todd Pletcher claim the sword dancer with Speedball Balto Star? And back here in Chicago, will Mr. O'Brien's Irish roots serve him well in the town with a legendary Irish mare? The answer moments away as Super Saturday continues on ABC.
Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum. Open it up from either end. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash on the new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum.
For the horse, strength is of prime importance. It guarantees his most precious asset, his incredible speed. Strength is the basis of his future, his offspring, for generations to come. When you're speaking of strength for generations, speak to someone who's in it for the long run. Strength. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations.
That's a $1 bill from our first sale. And that's a note from our first client just wishing us luck.
What's this?
That's our first temper tantrum. We needed to ship a package and the UPS store was closed. Steve lost it. But now we go to FedEx Kinko's because they're open late. A lot of them are open 24/7. That's Steve.
The new FedEx Kinko's. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it. Our office is your office.
Emu's on the loose. Emu's on the loose.
Where?
Everywhere.
Where everywhere?
New York City.
The trade show.
Big problem. Yeah, any ideas?
Mama.
Mama?
Here, Mama.
Coast-to-coast walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
I've got a secret, and it's steamy. I've been in hot water before, but not like this, and I can't wait to do it again.
New VO5 Nourishing Oasis. Shampoos and conditioners that are ignited by your shower steamy heat.
Every hair felt revived, like breathing flowers. What condition my condition was in.
New Nourishing Oasis from Alberto VO5.
My secret for killer hair. Boom, boom.
Tuesday, one mother, one jaw-dropping accusation, and one stunning crime. Now, go behind closed doors, in the jury room, where 12 ordinary citizens search the evidence and find a verdict that may leave you speechless. In the jury room, Tuesday at 10/9 Central.
NTRA Super Saturday on ABC Sports, brought to you by NetJets. Leave nothing to chance. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports.
We are back. NTRA Super Saturday unfolding here at Arlington and Saratoga. The Beverly D winner from the powerful Godolphin stable, Crimson Palace. And a reminder that on Thursday, September 9th, ABC's Monday Night Football opens its 35th season. The Super Bowl champion Patriots take on the Indianapolis Colts. NFL opening kickoff celebrates the new season with a special featuring Elton John, Destiny's Child, Lenny Kravitz, Jessica Simpson, and Toby Keith. It all happens Thursday at 8 Eastern. Well, let's check the officials here. The exacta 9-1, the trifecta 9-1-5, Crimson Palace, risk-averse, and necklace. And what a nice payment for a Frankie Dettori horse here.
Oh, yeah. Frankie Dettori is, of course, as we mentioned, one of the best jockeys internationally. He's had his struggles occasionally when he's come to the United States, even though he's won a few Breeders' Cup races. This is one reason, Brent, why he's so popular in Europe, the flying dismount. Now, there's a quarter horse jockey who'll actually do a flip coming off a horse like that, but that's pretty good for Dettori.
Do not try that at home, ladies and gentlemen.
And you see, he's also an emotional type as he gives Saeed bin Suror a hug.
And let's go down to the winner's circle, and here's Janine. Janine?
Well, I'm here with the winning trainer and jockey. We've got Saeed bin Suror and jockey Frankie Dettori. Saeed, her last race was a bit of a puzzler, a bit of a question mark. Is it now starting to make sense to you? Did it have anything to do with the footing?
Well, I mean, before we ran last time, she won Group 3 in England, and she was really impressive. Then, you know, after Royal Ascot race, which was like disappointed with her, but she come back good. Sheikh Mohammed and the team, they decide to run her today, and we know the fillies have the class and you know, have a good turn of foot. Frankie, he looked after her very well. He kept her close today, and she ran a big race. We're happy with that.
A huge race, and you two will team up, of course, for the next race, the Arlington Million, with Vesponi, that Frankie, of course, will also be aboard. Your chances in that?
Well, we have a good chance with him. I mean, he finished second last time in England, and but we bring him to here, and we have confident, you know, or some confident to see the horse to run a better race than last time.
Okay, well, we'll wish you good luck, but you've got one down. Now, Frankie Dettori, your trip on this filly was a little bit smoother than your trip flying over here. Whose tack and equipment did you have to borrow? Because I hear the airline lost all your luggage.
I have no idea. Everybody just got themselves together, and I've got a odd boot and different T-shirt and breeches and saddles, but they're all good guys, and they all gave me their tack.
Well, now that you've had a race over the course, tell me how you think Vesponi will handle the turf this afternoon, as it looked like the filly handled it beautifully.
Yes, we went slow, and I was in position A to strike, and I knew she had a good turn of foot, and she won really well. Now, Vesponi is a horse who runs a bit free, and the two bends here at Arlington, the tight track will suit him. I know he's run a couple of disappointments this year, but I think the track could be good for him.
All right, well, they've got one down and one more to go. And interesting, this filly has now won stakes races on 4 different continents, Brent.
All right, Janine, thank you very much. Randy, the full order of finish here. Which of the horses at the bottom disappointed you the most here today?
Commerçant, who finished 9th for Bobby Frankel. She was on the outside. She was close enough, despite the slow fractions, to at least kick a little, but she showed absolutely nothing.
And there are the payoffs, 1 through 6. $450,000 to the Sheik. As if he needed more cash, huh, folks?
And we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Hank Goldberg's pick 4 is officially dead.
But we will still continue with Super Saturday here on ABC in just a moment.
Explain the bottle again.
Well, I fill it with authentic Guinness draft.
Brilliant!
Then we walk outside.
Yes.
Bring it to a party.
Yes.
And then we drink it.
Drink beer at a party? Brilliant! What else you working on?
Remember how I used to open the bottle?
Yes.
Well, I've devised a gadget that does it for you.
Brilliant!
Brilliant!
Guinness draft straight from the bottle. Enjoy it everywhere.
Brilliant!
You know, we could just go to FedEx Kinko's. They've got copying, printing, shipping, all the latest technology. And there's always one around. Just a thought.
The new FedEx Kinko's. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it. Our office is your office.
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.? Sure, Martin. Hey, get this to Dale Jr. Yeah. This is Dale Jr. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep. Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with your picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
There are people in this world who know a good horse when they see one, usually from a lifetime of association. They see something in the carriage, the movement, the gait, the speed. Knowing a good horse flows from experience, looking to the future over generations. Experience. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations.
Mayday! Mayday!
Get her out of there! I'm having a contraction.
We were 1,000 miles off course. They're looking for us in the wrong place.
Did anybody say that?
Oh, come on, bring it!
Somebody's coming.
Went towards us, I think.
Come on, let's move.
Go, go!
It killed them. It killed them all.
Lost premieres Wednesday, September 22nd, 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
The mile-and-a-half distance of the Sword Dancer Invitational requires great endurance, and Request for Parole has it. Once a Triple Crown prospect, he's found a home on the turf. The further they go, the better for him. There's only 6 horses in the field, so a front runner who can slow down the fractions can be very dangerous. The horse to watch coming out of the gate is Balto Star. The field is set for the Sword Dancer Invitational.
Back here at Arlington, and we're halfway through Super Saturday. We've had an odds-on favorite, Speightstown, win the Vanderbilt, and then the Beverly D, a long shot. Crimson Palace, $21 payoff there. And before we go out for the Sword Dancer, let me have a little program reminder here that in their last IRL race, Indy champ Buddy Rice edged the points leader, Tony Kanaan, for his 3rd win, and they'll bring their rivalry to the Belterra Resort Indy 300 tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television. All right, now let's go back to Saratoga, and here's Jay Pribman. Jay.
Thanks very much, Brent. Well, Hank, we're halfway through here. We've got one race coming up, that being the Sword Dancer. It's a mile-and-a-half on grass, and the grass is quite soft. We're in between storms here at Saratoga, and that might have something to do with the result of the race. The Sword Dancer is part of the John Deere Turf Division for horses who are pointing towards the Breeders' Cup Turf on October 30th at Lone Star Park. And let's take a look at the 6 horses who will go postward today over this soft turf course. Number 1 is Balto Star. He is the one to catch. Todd Pletcher and John Velasquez looking for a sweep of our 2 stakes from here at Saratoga. They are 3-2 right now. Silverfoot at 4-1. Let's take a look now at the outside half of the field with Request for Parole at 5-2. He is the second choice in the race. Rochester, and then the long shot B.A. Way at 12-1. Rounding out our field here in the Sword Dancer, Balto Star is a horse who does his best running when he's on the lead, Hank, and he does look like the one to catch this afternoon.
He will be, I believe, the uncontested pace here, and that's where, excuse me, he runs his best. Can I put Buddy Rice into my pick 4, by the way, as a substitute, as we take a look at, Jay?
This is Balto Star's last race. It was the United Nations Handicap. He's the horse on the inside. The horse was wearing saddlecloth number 3 that day. The horse is going to come up on the outside here and beat him is Request for Parole, who's one of the other horses in the race today, Hank. But I think that it's very significant to note that because of all the rain that we had here yesterday at Saratoga, the course is not like it was at the UN. It's much softer, and I think that's going to affect the way this race is run.
Well, I think it could affect Request for Parole. I talked to his trainer, Stan Huff, yesterday, who said that if it came up soft, as we're looking at the Red Smith, which was run on a soft turf course, and you can see here that Balto Star just aired on the soft course. But not so much as far as Request for Parole is concerned. Stan's concerned about a soft course here.
And this is the kind of course that, as you mentioned, Balto Star absolutely loved right there in the Red Smith Handicap. Well, earlier today, the trainer of Request for Parole, Stan Huff, talked to Thea Andrews to talk about what's going to go on with Request for Parole. And I think one of the significant things that we've got to talk about here is just how this horse is going to handle this core condition today. So here now, Thea Andrews with Stan Huff.
Stan, why did you decide to race here at Saratoga today for half the amount of the Arlington Million?
Well, we feel our horse is better suited for the 1.5 miles instead of the 1.25 miles as the Arlington race is.
Your horse beat Balto Star at the United Nations, but that horse might get a little bit of an easier lead today. Does that concern you?
Yeah, it's going to be tougher today. You know, he's going to have the lead all his own way, and he's a nice horse. So if he runs his race, it's going to be tough.
What strategy have you and Javier worked out?
Well, there's not a lot of speed in there other than Balto Star, so we're going to try to lay just off of him, maybe a length or two, and hopefully we can run him down.
It's soft turf today. There was a lot of rain yesterday. How do you think your horse is going to respond to that?
Well, that's our main concern here today is it's labeled soft. We're hoping it dries out and get at least a good turf course, if not maybe a yielding. But soft is not our best surface.
Well, thanks, Dan. Good luck today.
Thanks a lot.
And back here at Saratoga, Hank, Randy Moss giving you a little bit of grief over you being knocked out of the pick 4, but you're unwavering. You're going to jump back in there for this race.
In fact, I'm stepping up in this race with B.A. Way along with Balto Star. I think, uncontested pace in the 6-horse field is tough, but B.A. Way could be up close. Ricky Violet's a clever trainer. This horse, I think, is just really coming into his own, and I'd look for him to hit the board, and he's a price.
Well, you're on the record right now as who you like, but I think we ought to put Randy Moss on the spot since he's been giving you so much grief. Let's go back now to Arlington Park and see who Randy likes in the Sword Dancer.
You're on the hot seat.
Hank, I wasn't giving you grief. I just noted, I said it was bad news that you were out. I just noted that unfortunately you're out.
And Hammer, the football season starts soon anyway, my friend.
There you go. I'm confused about this because Request for Parole was going to be in a perfect spot sitting behind Balto Star, and now you hear his trainer Stan Huff mention that a soft course is not to his liking. One thing I think is important to note that's going to help Balto Star and why I think ultimately he'll probably win the race now with this course condition. That race you saw him fade in the UN was his first start since February. That race was on July the 3rd, so he needed the race, probably wasn't 100%. It's going to help him, and it's going to make him even tougher to catch.
Jay?
Thanks very much, Brent. The horses are now getting up to the starting gate. Before they go in, Hank, though, I wanted to ask you about this horse that we're looking at now, number 2, Silverfoot. Lightly raced horse. Dallas Stewart couldn't get it done with Clock Stopper in the Vanderbilt. Does this horse have a chance?
He's got to come from out of it. And I just don't think that a horse is going to be able to do that. The reason I like B.A. Way is I think he can stay a little bit close, but this is going to be Balto Star, how far he goes, and there's no reason to think he can't wire this field.
Right behind him there to the right, just went off your screen, was B.A. Way, who is wearing saddlecloth number 6. This was a horse who was a late invitee to this race. This race is by invitation. And there were so few horses that initially wanted to run in this race that trainer Rick Violet said, hey, put me in. I want to be in this race. And they put B.A. Way in. Here are now the odds as they go into the gate for this race. Balto Star, the 8-5 favorite. Request for Parole at 2-1. Let's go back up now to the top of the stands. Once again, Tom Durkin.
Moving into line here, an interesting fact here is that number 3, Better Talk Now, and number 6, B.A. Way, as you look at Silverfoot trying to get into the gate here. But they're half-brothers, and very unusual that half-brothers would be in the same race with each other. What's even more unusual is they don't look a bit alike. There is Better Talk Now. He's a dark bay or brown horse, and his half-brother B.A. Way is gray. Better Talk Now being urged into the starting gate. The track record here, the course record, is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Now, we just set a track record on the dirt course in the Vanderbilt, but you will not see, I can assure you, a course record here with the boggy going. They'll be running the Sword Dancer over today. The final horse moving into line, waiting for B.A. Way in the gate and ready for the start of the Sword Dancer Invitational. And they're off. And it's Balto Star who gets off to an uneventful start. Javier Castellano is keeping Request for Parole right there with him in the early going. And on the far outside, it's B.A. Way. A break of 2 back to the gray Silverfoot. Alongside him is Rochester. Better Talk Now is muzzled and suppressed at the back of the pack in the early going here. So, as expected, it's Balto Star who is the leader. Balto Star in front, but not far behind B.A. Way. Castellano has taken Request for Parole well in hand. They've negotiated the opening quarter in 24 2/5 seconds. Silverfoot continues to save ground down toward the inside. At positions at the back are Better Talk Now and Rochester. So it's Balto Star. He's just on cruise control here with no challenges in the early going. Johnny Velasquez really able to slow down the pace here. The quarter went in 24 2/5 seconds. The second quarter went in 25 2/5 seconds. So there's a lap to go. Balto Star just waltzing around the course at this juncture. B.A. Way, close striking range, running seconds just a length behind, and Request for Parole is running along in third. Silverfoot's enjoyed a perfect journey so far, down on the inside, saving ground all the way. Still at the back of the pack are Rochester and Better Talk Now, who's still under good restraint. Balto Star continues to sail along an uncontested lead. Run 3/4 and 15 flat. B.A. Way, Request for Parole, has been maneuvered into perfect striking position now. He's on the outside third. Silverfoot is fourth. The tempo's now beginning to quicken here. Better Talk Now is still well in hand. Better Talk Now in a bit of traffic there. And on the outside, Rochester. Now there's 4 furlongs to go. And this is going to be a sprint to the wire here. They ran a mile in 1 minute 40 and 1/5 seconds. Balto Star and Johnny Velasquez now lets him roll. Balto Star, here comes Request for Parole, and he's putting in his bid on the far turn now. Request for Parole, 1 length behind with less than 3 furlongs to go. Rochester rolls up on the outside third. B.A. Way and Better Talk Now is cut loose as the field turns for home. Top of the stretch, Balto Star still holding on to that lead. Request for Parole, Better Talk Now on the far outside. 1 furlong to go. Balto Star's under the whip. Request for Parole takes the lead. Request for Parole in front. But here comes Better Talk Now, who surges past to take the lead. Better Talk Now under a brilliant ride by Ramon Dominguez to win it here. Request for Parole was second. Balto Star was third. This is a jockey you're going to hear a lot from. He has really turned some heads here at Saratoga this year. Ramon Dominguez, he had Better Talk Now under an absolute stranglehold. Never real far away from the lead, but he cut him loose in the stretch, and he got the money here. The final time was 2:28 and 2.
And Better Talk Now rallies for the win under Ramon Dominguez, this horse trained by Graham Motion. This is a horse who had had a lot of trouble in many of his races leading up to this, but today he got a perfect ride from Ramon Dominguez, Hank, who kept him covered up, and then he took him to the outside for the stretch run. But even at this point, Balto Star had a pretty easy trip, hadn't he?
Yeah, he really had. He was dictating the race by running some easy fractions. Now, when the race is on and he gets it, they get into him, and he just doesn't have anything less. Request for Parole goes by, and then from nowhere comes Better Talk Now. But, you know, he had a good race in the Bowling Green. Remember, he was second to Kickin' Chris there.
Better Talk Now first, Request for Parole second, Balto Star third. Let's go back to Chicago and Brent Musburger.
The foreign invaders have dominated the Million the last 3 years. Can Bob Baffert stop that string in his first ever attempt here in Chicago? The Arlington Million is next as Super Saturday continues on ABC.
problem.
Try rebooting.
Already did. Meeting in minutes.
Run utilities.
Not good.
Alt FX.
It's getting worse. Something's happening.
Hit escape.
There is no escape.
Problem solved.
What?
Replaced.
How'd you do that?
Coast-to-coast walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
You think you know your neighbors, but everyone's got a little dirty laundry.
The woman killed herself.
This is the neighborhood where ordinary housewives
Now what?
have extraordinary secrets, and they'll do anything to keep things quiet.
I can't believe he tried to kill me.
Yes, well, I feel badly about that.
They're just like you, only way more desperate. Desperate Housewives. Sundays this fall, only on ABC. It's faster. It's tougher. We've built a new weekday version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and Meredith Vieira will host.
Coming this fall, only to ABC 30. Behind the fame, the lives are real. The Insider. Coming this fall, only to ABC 30.
Chuck Watson's gigantic birthday celebration for 40 to 70% off on a huge selection of luxurious and comfortable home theater seating. Choose from 10 seating groups. Price from just $7.99 to $19.99. Plus, no payment, no interest for 1 full year. And that's not all. Beautiful slate pool tables. Clearance price from $9.99. Bars from $2.88. And bar stools from $19. Choose from the area's largest selection of gas and electric fireplaces, including vent-free fireplaces from $4.88 and electric from just $1.99. Plus special financing only at Watson's.
This is the one sales event you've been waiting for. Your Ford store's authorized clearance sale. Now get an extra $1,000 clearance cash when you finance through Ford Credit on every Ford Taurus. Add $4,000 cash back, and that's $5,000 total clearance cash. Ford Taurus is the one with a 5-star government safety rating. The one with a power moonroof at no extra charge. And now it's the one with $5,000 total clearance cash. This is the one sales event you don't want to miss. Your quality Ford store's authorized clearance sale.
National City, retail and business banking, investments, and wealth management.
Well, a reminder now on Sunday, ESPN continues coverage of the Road to the World Thoroughbred Championships with the Best Pal Stakes live from Del Mar. Coverage begins on ESPN at 5 Eastern, and for more information, log on to ESPN.com. At Saratoga, we've had another long shot score. The pick 4 could be a huge payoff here today. Let's go back to Jay now for the officials.
And better talk now, the upset winner of the Sword Dancer for trainer Graham Motion and jockey Ramon Dominguez, this horse owned by the Bushwood Stables, a partnership of Bill and Joe Gallion and some of their partners. Better talk now, pays $17.80 to win. Request for parole second, and Balto Star finished third. Let's go down now to the winner's circle where Hank Goldberg is standing by with Graham Motion.
All right, and Graham, I guess we should have known that off the performance in the Bowling Green where he was second to Kick and Chris that this horse was really coming around.
Yeah, I mean, every race has been an improvement. I'm so thrilled to win this race for these guys. They're great owners. They kind of pick the spots, and they've been right on the money every time.
Going into the race, Balto Star looked like lone speed. Was that a big concern for you? And, well, obviously your horse moved at just the right time.
Yeah, I was worried about it, but we were prepared to sit a little closer. But as everything just worked out perfectly. He was very relaxed today. The race set up beautifully. What a great ride Ramon gave him.
A great win for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hank.
Okay, back to Jay.
3 down and 1 to go. The Arlington Million is next. Let's take it back to Chicago and Brent Musburger.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. And again, the main event, if you will, is still ahead of us. But as we talk about the Sword Dancer, what Breeders' Cup implications do we have here, Randy, if any?
Well, because the course was so soft as to kind of mess with the outcome a little bit, I don't know that we're going to have any real serious Breeders' Cup implications. Request for Parole, I think, is a serious Breeders' Cup turf horse. I still think he's a better horse than Better Talk Now on a firm course, but we'll just have to wait and see. It does have Arlington Million implications, though, because the horse that just defeated Better Talk Now in the Bowling Green is Kickin' Chris, who is a long shot of sorts in the Arlington Million coming up.
And it is time now for your Dodge Hemi winning performance. What do you got for us, Randy?
Well, for that, we will look at the richest race ever run at Arlington Park. And we are not talking about the Arlington Million. Arlington Park was the host of the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships in 2002. And in the $4 million Breeders' Cup Classic, the key player was a shocker.
They're coming down to the finish, and it's going to be a huge upset. 40-1 on the wire. Ball Pony scores in the Classic. He wins by a half a dozen lengths.
Ball Pony, the first Breeders' Cup Classic winner for Jose Santos, not only won it in a romp, he was the longest shot on the board. He paid $89 to win.
And you know, P.J. Johnson is also quite a story. And they say about people that, gee, I wish they'd written a book about him. Well, this late trainer, they did. And let's go back to Saratoga now, and here's Thea.
Brent, the book is called The Big Horse, and it is a fascinating recollection of the life and times of Hall of Fame trainer P.G. Johnson, who was a fixture here at Saratoga, won a race every year here for 36 years. And joining me now is the author of the book, Joe McGinnis, who came to Saratoga initially to write about the 6-week meet and ended up being drawn to P.G. How come?
Well, P.G. Johnson was the kind of guy that once you spend 5 minutes in his company, you want to be there for the rest of your life. He was a technicolor personality where a lot of the other trainers are basically black and white. As one owner said to me a couple of days ago, most trainers, you ask them a question, they tell you what they think you want to hear. P.G. Johnson would tell you exactly what he thought, no matter what the answer would be, and no matter how uncomfortable it might make you feel. He was just such a wonderful and warm and giving and humorous and sensitive guy. I'm a little too old to have father figures in my life, but as PG would have made a heck of an older brother.
What was unique about his style as a trainer?
As a trainer, he always said he never wanted to train a horse he couldn't see every day. He's not like some of these mega trainers that have stables all over the country and ship from one track to the other. If PG couldn't get down on his own hands and knees and put his hands on that horse's legs every day, that wasn't going to be a PG Johnson horse.
What do you think will be his legacy in the sport?
His legacy will be one of compassion, of integrity, of all the best that the sport can be. If Seabiscuit had been a human being instead of a horse, he would have been P.G. Johnson.
Thank you very much, Joe. The book is available now, The Big Horse, for $22.95. Brent?
And let me correct, I think, Randy, I said P.G. Johnson, of course, and what a nice man he was, and so connected to your Val Pony.
He was the owner and the trainer of Val Pony. P.G. died 9 days ago at Saratoga, and as you just heard from Joe McGinnis, those who knew him best remember him with a smile instead of with a tear.
Well, coming up next, the main event, the Arlington Million.
Get ready for a whole new kind of Dodge. Introducing the all-new Magnum. First, you see stunning performance. Another look reveals surprising versatility. Open it up and you'll find a tri-fold cargo floor. Bold styling that features a unique access liftgate. Even a powerful Boston Acoustics CD sound system, which makes the all-new Dodge Magnum SXT a whole different ride. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash on the new Dodge Magnum SXT.
Centuries of breeding, endless attention and education, countless days of training, now distilled to a single moment in time and a single goal: performance. Performance made possible by many skilled people, spanning generations. Performance. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations.
Bottle work again? Well, I fill it with authentic Guinness draft. Yes. So we can walk outside. Yes. Go down to the glen. Yes. And drink it. Drink beer at a picnic. Brilliant. What will you think of next? You know the way you call your mum? Yes. Well, I've created a device that lets you talk to her. Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Guinness draft, straight from the bottle. Enjoy it everywhere.
Brilliant.
Alert, set the gate. And clear up. Coming down the home stretch to the wire.
So how did you do today? The Daily Racing Form
form. Reader takes all.
Some people say athletes shouldn't be looked at as role models. We say maybe those people are looking at the wrong athletes. Argent Mortgage proudly sponsors some of sports' finest. Ask your mortgage broker about an Argent loan.
This fall, they're the most high-powered, underhanded, sex-crazed, charming lawyers money can buy. Lock and load. Emmy nominees James Spader and William Shatner. Boston Legal, Sundays this fall only on ABC.
NTRA Super Saturday on ABC Sports, brought to you by Long John Silver's new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser. Surfs up, dive in. Citgo, fueling the greatest of American sports. NTRA Purchasing, real savings for NTRA supporters. And Guinness Draft Stout, drink responsibly. Brilliant.
On a beautiful Super Saturday afternoon, just northwest of Chicago, Arlington Park. We get ready for the Million. I want to remind everybody that we still have 2 Super Saturdays. One of them a special Sunday edition at Belmont. That's on September 19th on ABC. Then from Belmont on October 2nd, we'll be on ESPN. And speaking of ESPN, don't miss the Travers. Lionheart certainly expected to go in that $1 million race, and that'll be coming up on August 28th. Well, so far here today on Super Saturday, 3 of our 4 races have been determined. Spikestown, the odds-on favorite at 380, but then look at the next 2 prices. Crimson Palace and Better Talk Now, and now we turn our attention to the John Deere Turf Runners on the Arlington Million. And you know, folks, if we go back to a year ago, I would watch the tape on television. I wasn't here live, but Randy, you were. It was scary. It was controversial. It was an amazing ending.
It was bizarre. It was one of the most bizarre finishes to a horse race, to any horse race, not just a major horse race, that I have ever witnessed. Storming Home seemed to be storming home. He was home free with Gary Stevens aboard, but look what he does in the shadow of the wire. Just yards from the finish, inexplicably veers out, interferes with Paolini, interferes with Kayatur, and Gary Stevens goes down. Now, Storming Home was disqualified. Suleimani won the race for Godolphin by DQ, but the big story was Stevens. It looks bad, and it was. He was carried off on a stretcher, injured, hospitalized. He has now made a successful comeback. He is riding in France this year. He's very happy, but Brandy probably is not quite as happy as Storming Home, who is at stud right now.
Randy, I got to tell you, I think the most underrated athletes in the world are jockeys. They got their hands full, and we've got some great ones in this field today for the Arlington Million. We've got Hall of Famers galore, if you will. Pat Day is on Mr. O'Brien, and this horse is being heavily bet, as you would expect, in Chicago. There's Frankie Dettori trying to make it a clean sweep after winning the Beverly D, and Jerry Bailey out on sweet return. Kent DeSormo coming back. Victor Espinoza. The list goes on and on. Renee Douglas, of course, he always leads the riders, it seems, here at Arlington. And Andres Stuckey, Brice Blanc. There's the tough one, Edgar Prado on Magistretti. And Jono Jones. Now, speaking of riders, just a short time ago, Janine caught up with Jerry Bailey and Frankie Dettori.
Brent, well, I'm here with 2 stars of the sport, but they are on different continents. Jerry Bailey is a 7-time Eclipse Award winner. Frankie Dettori is a 2-time champion, arguably the most successful rider in Europe. So I got to ask both of you, what adjustments do you have to make when you go to a foreign country to ride a race, or even just to ride a foreign horse?
Well, in America, it's probably easier for Frankie because everything is just a circle. You know, over there, it's up and down and left and right. It's a little more difficult. So when I go there, I walk the course.
Oh, well, that's smart. Well, Frankie, he's saying that you have it easier when you come over here. Now, any argument to that?
Well, you need the right horse for the American sharp tracks. But, you know, I spend a lot of time in America, and I find it quite easy. But you need the right horse for the right track. As simple as that. And if the horse don't handle it, then you're out with the washing, as they say.
Okay, now in the Arlington Million, Jerry, you will be on Sweet Return. Will his tactical speed be an asset, and if so, how will you use that?
Probably so, because he doesn't need to be on the lead, and I'll probably be in a stalking position, the same as Frankie was in the Beverly D. If he's good enough, he'll win.
And Frankie, very quickly, Vesponi, will he make a clear lead with the blinkers on again today?
He's very quick, and the sharp track will suit him. That's the reason why we brought him here, because he's got bags of speed, and let's hope he holds on to the line.
All right, well, we'll wish them both best of luck in the Arlington Million. Brent?
All right, Janine, and you know the last jockey to sweep both the Beverly D and the Million? Jerry Bailey. Editori has a chance to do that. There's so much history involving the Million, but you must start with one horse, John Henry. He won the race in 81 and then in 84, so this is the 20th anniversary of his second win. Bill Shoemaker was up the first time, and then Chris McCarron the second time. And Jim McKay takes a look at the legendary John Henry.
The springtime of 1984 was a sad time for racing. Swale won the Derby and the Belmont for his famous trainer, Woody Stevens. But just a few days after winning the Belmont, while enjoying his morning bath, Swale suddenly died. So racing needed some good news, and in old reliable John Henry, they found him. 3 years earlier, at age 6, he had won the first Arlington Million in the most dramatic of photo finishes, getting up in the last stride to beat the Bart. Now, in 84, at the age of 9, trainer Ron McAnally had him perfectly prepared for another big day in the Arlington Million once again.
I was always confident every time we would run him. I knew that they had him to beat.
John Henry, like gangbusters, followed by Gardner Del Sol. Down the stretch of the 8th pole, John Henry, like a bullet. John Henry now taking command.
Confidently handled by Chris McCarron, John Henry caught the filly Royal Heroine in the last quarter mile and drew away, winning his second million. He would go on to win 2 more races that fall and become the oldest thoroughbred to be named Horse of the Year. That accomplishment is still unmatched.
It's virtually unheard of at the age of 9, having a horse win the Arlington Million and being voted Horse of the Year. It's fabulous, you know. I mean, it's just unheard of. But he did it, you know, and that shows you what a great horse he was.
There was a special chemistry between the trainer and his horse. John Henry had been sold as a weanling for $1,100 and then as a yearling for $2,200. All of this was not lost on McAnally.
He was sold and resold and sold again as if nobody wanted him, you know. And of course, my family and I just were raised in an orphanage, and we didn't have any other choice, you know. That's the way it was.
Sam Rubin paid $25,000 for John Henry in 1978. He retired as thoroughbred racing all-time leading money winner with more than $6.5 million in earnings. Today, at age 29, he still lives the good life at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington. For McAnally, returning to Arlington Racecourse is always special, as there's a commemorative statue behind the grandstand of John Henry beating the Bart in the first ever $1 million race for thoroughbreds.
And you know, Randy, I can't believe that McAnally is back here with a thoroughbred named Sweet Return.
And he's got a heck of a chance to win. Sweet Return finished 3rd in his last race at Del Mar, a race called the Eddie Reed. Jerry Bailey flew out for the first time to ride him that day, and he finished 3rd, and he was boxed in through the stretch run. When Bailey got off the horse, he looked at Ron McAnally and said, "This horse should have won. I want to ride him in the Arlington Million." If you're a trainer and Jerry Bailey tells you that, it's got to make you feel pretty good.
They are coming on the track for the Arlington Million. And we'll be back with the race on ABC in just a moment.
I'd like to send this to the Boonies.
Sir, the Boonies doesn't exist.
Okay, then send it to Cloud 9.
That's a fictional place.
How about La La Land?
Sir, that's a state of mind.
I heard when I used FedEx Ground, I could ship for up to 35% less than at the UPS store. I want to take advantage of the offer before it expires.
It's not an offer. You can save up to 35%.
Then send it to Funkytown.
That's a song, sir.
The new FedEx Kinkos. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it. Our office is your office.
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.? Sure, Martin. Hey, get this to Dale Jr.
Yeah. This is Dale Jr.'s. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep.
Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with a picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
Emu's on the loose. Emu's on the loose.
Where?
Everywhere.
Where everywhere?
New York City.
The trade show.
Big problem. Yeah, any ideas?
Mama.
Mama?
Here, Mama.
Coast to coast walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
Introducing the only minivan with 2 rows of fold-in floor seats. The all-new 2005 Grand Caravan.
Come on in, Dad.
I'll finish that one. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash for a combined cash allowance of $2,000.
About 1990, we bought our first horse, and here we are.
Our favorite horses are Serena Song, the filly, and Silver Charm, the colt.
The NetJet Association has advanced our pleasure and well-being in the thoroughbred industry.
The planes are always immaculate. Everything is top-notch. You feel like you're in your own living room.
We take advantage of NetJets for going to all these great races across the country.
It's a great experience. I love it.
I don't understand anybody going any other way.
Horse racing fans, if you are a Nextel subscriber, you can test your horse racing knowledge by playing the NTRA trivia game on your Nextel phone. And maybe you can win a trip to this year's Breeders' Cup at Lone Star Park. Send the message WIN to 46773 using text messaging. Do you know what it takes to win? Standard messaging charges apply. A wide open field. That's what the experts have been saying all week, and the odds reflect that. Mr. O'Brien, the favorite, but certainly not overwhelming at 4-1. Folks, this is the kind of race you can make some money in if you can pick the winner, huh, Randy?
Exactly. I mean, 9-2 second choice, 2 5-1 shots, Powers Court, as well as the number 3 Sweet Return, the Ron McAnally trainee that we just discussed.
Well, let's take a look at the field for this year's Arlington Million. Here's Mr. O'Brien, Randy.
Ridden by Fat Day, who has won this race once in the past. A much improved turf horse, and the number 1 post is perfect for him, I think.
Can Vesponi make it 2 for Frankie Dettori today?
And as we heard, Vesponi should be on the front end. He opened up 6 lengths early in his last start, and that was in England.
Here is Sweet Return for Ron McAnally.
And Ron McAnally is confident in Sweet Return. He has won the Arlington Million 3 times, not just John Henry, but also Tight Spot.
Kickin' Chris is trained by an American hero, a true hero, Michael Matz. He saved some lives in a horrendous airplane crash back in the 80s. Carried the flag at the Olympics. Number 5, Sabiango.
Sabiango made the pace in his last start in the Charlie Whittingham. Probably won't today. There will be a lot more early speed in this race. Victor Espinosa aboard.
And number 6, Mystery Giver, Randy.
Mystery Giver is the local, but that's not necessarily good in this race. Horses based in Arlington are 0 for 33 in the Million.
Number 7, the German horse Apollo.
Apollo is very consistent. First or second in his last 11 starts, and that's why he's 9-2 in the betting right now.
Number 8 is Senior Swinger, owned by the Lewises.
Both Sabiango and Senior Swinger, trained by Bob Baffert, best known for his dirt horses, but he's got a chance now to win the Million for the first time.
Vangelis, number 9.
Vangelis, trained by Bobby Frankel. He was 4th and 6th in his 2 races in the United States, but Frankel thinks that the blinkers on today for the first time might make a difference.
And number 10 is Powers Court.
Powers Court, owned by Mrs. John Magner, trained by Aidan O'Brien. Their Necklace ran well in the Beverly D, and Powers Court has even better form than Necklace going into this race.
Number 11, ridden by Hall of Famer Mike Smith, Hatif.
Longest shot on the board at 40-1, and rightfully so. 6th in his only United States stakes race. Began his career in Brazil.
Here's the tough rider, Edgar Prado on Magistretti, number 12.
Oh, and Prado has been so hot this summer at Saratoga. Magistretti looking for a turnaround. He was disappointing in his last 3 starts in England.
Number 13 is Mobile.
And from the far outside post position, you can expect John O'Jones to use some of Mobile's speed. He may not beat Best Pony to the lead, but he shouldn't be too far behind him early.
And Janine, how'd they look in the paddock?
Well, Brent, all models of class and composure, and one of the horses getting a lot of attention here in the paddock was the current favorite, number 1, Mr. O'Brien, who is just starting to make his presence felt at this grade 1 level of competition. His trainer, Robin Graham, is a new face in the crowd at this level, but she's definitely not an overnight sensation.
Robin Graham has been working with thoroughbreds for over 25 years. She served as an assistant to trainers Barclay Tagg and Richard Small and has been on her own for the last 10 years. She's little known outside her home state of Maryland, but Mr. O'Brien could change that. He arrived in her barn last October as an average performer on dirt. Robin returned him to his preferred surface, turf, and he's blossomed into a grade 1 contender.
I think he probably knew all along that's what he wanted to do, and now he's happy that the people finally caught up and got the idea too. A lot of horses are trained to go fast the first part of their work, and I've really been working on him to relax the first part. So now I think when he realizes he can do that and finish and nothing hurts and nothing's bothering him, I think it makes the next race even more easy for him to do that.
It's going to be Mr. O'Brien and Ramon to bring him home.
In fact, Robin has Mr. O'Brien so laid back, he's content to just be a spectator as well as a participant. But he definitely belongs here, and so does his trainer.
I ran a horse in the cotillion a few years ago, and sitting on the bench before the race, I thought, this is so cool. This is a grade 2 race, and I'm here, and I actually belong here. And we finished second. That was such a neat feeling. And to be here and know I belong here is really great.
Randy?
She is an animal lover in general, Robin Graham, not just horses. At home in Maryland, she owns 3 cats, 2 dogs, 4 parrots, and a ferret, so she needs to win the million just to pay for pet food.
Yes, and vet bills. Hey, we got to check in with Hank and Jay, see what they think about the million. Let's go back to Saratoga.
We're a couple of animal lovers here as well, but more importantly, Hank, we're a couple of people who like to win pick 4s. Regretfully, Hank is not alive. He won the first leg, missed the next 2, but there are a number of people who are still alive in the pick 4 in the most wide open race. So let's take a look at the pick 4 will pays for this wide open Arlington Million field. And you can see that there are some big numbers here. If you can get all 4 home, that's what it'll pay for a $2 wager if you have the first 3 winners plus the ones who we're showing now. Let's take a look now at the second half of the field, and there's a monstrous payoff there on Hatif of 39,000 Powers Court, the smallest payoff at $1,900. More than $1.2 million was bet in this pick 4. Hank, one of the nice things about racing is that every half hour, even if you're out, you can go back in. So what do you like?
I like Powers Court. Notice that he's the favorite in the pick 4 betting. There's a lot of speed among these foreign horses, but this one has tactical speed, just won a grade 1 in Ireland. And I like Kicking Chris for second. Remember, he beat the winner of the Sword Dancer back at Belmont.
I'm going to go with Mr. O'Brien. I'm really surprised he's the favorite in this race right now, but I like where he's drawn and I like his consistency. So Mr. O'Brien will be my selection. Let's take it back now to Arlington Park and the Arlington Million.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. So when we come back, we'll go to the post for the Arlington Million. The final race today on Super Saturday here on ABC. After this message and a word from our ABC station.
Of American sports.
Come on closer, I want to show you what I'd like to do. Hot temptations, sweet sensations, infiltrating through.
Now you can skip retail and buy almost anything for your home direct at insider prices, just like the stores do.
We saved approximately $5,000.
$6,000, $7,000.
So we saved 30 grand.
We have saved about $65,000 on cabinets for our house.
How is this possible? How can you buy like the stores do? It's simple with Direct Buy, America's #1 way to buy direct for your home. It's an entirely new way to buy home furnishing, cabinetry, carpeting, lighting, bathroom fixtures, appliances, electronics, just about everything and anything for your home, all available at confidential insider prices.
Direct Buy is a private, members-only showroom and design center. Direct Buy members have stopped losing the money you pay in retail markups.
Join the insiders who are already enjoying the many benefits of buying direct.
Call the number on your screen now to receive your free information sheet along with a free visitor's pass to attend an upcoming open house tour of the Direct Buy showroom.
Shop Watson's gigantic birthday celebration for 40 to 70% off on above ground pool. Clearance price from just $688. Plus, no payment, no interest for 1 full year. Save up to 70% off Watson's list price at over 500 sets of outdoor casual furniture. Many sets are priced from $249 and no more than $688. Save on over 200 Viking, Caldera, and Cal Spas too. Choose from 5 models, clearance price from just $1688 and no more than $2888. Plus, no payment, no interest for 1 full year. Only at Watson's. It's time to play Family Feud, weekdays at 5 on ABC 30.
They've traveled thousands of miles to Chicago. Best Pony with the world-renowned Frankie Dettori aboard. The long shot, Magistretti. Powers Court is one of the serious challengers, while Apollo is highly regarded for his German connections. The American hopes are carried by Mr. O'Brien, the speedster Sabiango. Or will it be Sweet Return, giving Ron McAnally his 4th million win? Jerry Bailey is in the iron. The Arlington Million is just moments away. And we are back at this beautiful facility northwest of Chicago. The weather today has been gorgeous. The crowd in excess of 30,000, largest crowd of the year here at Arlington. With Randy Moss and Janine Edwards, I'm Brent Musburger, and Apollo has suddenly become the favorite in this race at 4-1. So the German backers, and of course they've traced that horse all the way to Singapore where he won a Grade 1. Back here they're really pounding it in.
They are, and they have to be impressed like we are with his consistency. I mean, 11 straight races, either first or second, and he's a big, stout, beautiful 5-year-old, as you can see right there to look at. His jockey is Andras Starka, who's one of the leading jockeys in Germany. When he went to Singapore, he won that race by 5 lengths. That was his only real trip, you know, involving going over an ocean, and certainly this horse has the speed also to be a part of this. Expect him to be sitting right behind Vesponi early. He can either take the lead or sit off the pace. He's versatile. He's got it all. I think he's got a great chance, and that's who I'm picking to win.
And Janine is with a guy who likes to whisper to horses. Janine?
That's right. Monty Roberts is also known as the horse whisperer. What you might not know is that he's also a racehorse owner. Monty, your whole approach to horses revolves around gentleness, calmness. But how do you stay calm when your horse is getting ready to run in $1 million race?
It's his race, not mine. I'm as calm as can be, and I just want him to run big and love it.
You're the man who listens to horses. What did he tell you this morning?
That he was ready to go, and he's loving his work.
All right. Well, we'll wish you best of luck.
Thank you.
Brent?
All right, Janine. Thank you very much. As the horses are now approaching our Guinness starting gate. And Sabiango now 14-1. And Randy, let me ask you this. What kind of a race will unfold here? Who's going to set the pace? Is there early speed? What's the target?
We should have a completely different kind of race than we saw in the Beverly D. The Beverly D was a paceless race. It was a galloping contest. In here, there is a lot of speed, and unusually, most of it is going to come from the Europeans. Normally, they come from off the pace, but Best Pony from post 2 has speed. Apollo from post 7 has speed. Powers Court, the horse is getting a lot of play as well at 9-2. Ridden by Jamie Spencer, trained by Aidan O'Brien, also has speed, and Mobile on the outside. But Best Pony, I think, should set the pace from post number 2 and try to take these from wire to wire.
Same distance as the Kentucky Derby, 1.25 miles, but it's on the turf. They are at the Guinness starting gate, and so right now, let's send you up above to John G. Dooley.
Brent, thank you very much. A warm welcome to our ABC Sports audience on hand here today in Chicago. Sunny skies, as you mentioned. Glorious day here. Crowd over $30,000 for our Grade 1s. Moving into line, Vangelis just went in. Right now, 4-1 on that German-bred Ipalo, hoping to follow in the footsteps of Silvano. Andreas Starkey partners Ipalo. Here's Power Escort and jockey Jamie Spencer. Right now at 9-2, and Power Escort went in fine. 1 mile, 1/4 start here at Arlington Park at the top of the home stretch. A long run then for all 13 to the clubhouse turn. Sabiango in the Monty Roberts colors went in well. Kicking Chris last year won the Secretariat Stakes here at Arlington Park. 9-1 today for Kicking Chris. Here's Hatif to one of those outside post positions. A few more left to load. The Illinois-bred Mystery Giver. Final few horses moving into line here. Magistrati has drawn 12. Waiting for Magistrati to come up now. Those loaded standing very well here at Arlington Park. Just a couple more. Andreas Starkey and Ipalo. 4-1. Favorite this, here's Ipalo. Those in line standing well. One more, Jono Jones, partners Mobile. 35-1, Mobile moving in now. They're in the gate. And they're off in Arlington Million 22. Andy Palo breaks right on cue. And Sabiango is also striding up and after this lead. And toward the rail, here's Vesponi in the Godolphin blue. And Sweet Return is up and on the scallop, putting a close fourth. Kicking Chris is fifth. Mobile is running sixth as they come in front of us. And Mr. O'Brien, nice and settled there under Pat Day. Sixth from this leader, Vesponi. Senior Swinger, followed by Magistrati. Power Escort gallops along in hand. Eighth from the front. Farther back is Vangelis. Then comes the Millionaire, Mystery Giver, and Hatif is 13th and last. The opening quarter, 23-3. A solid pace here for Godolphin's Vesponi. Vesponi in front, and Sabiango tracks this as they head toward the backstretch. Ipalo running in third, and Sweet Return in the clear on the outside. Mr. O'Brien magnetized toward this rail. A good spot for Mr. O'Brien. And now, here's on the outside gaining ground. Mobile going past Kicking Chris. Then it's Magistrati, Senior Swinger. Power Escort still being raced along. Vangelis, Hatif, and Mystery Giver is last. They've run a half mile in 47-2. 4 furlongs to run in the 22nd million. And Frankie Dettori and Vesponi still at the head of affairs, leading Sabiango, who's just outside of his quarters. Ipalo, well within reach of these leaders. So too Sweet Return, who's right there now as they round the far turn. Mobile is running in fifth. Kicking Chris is sixth. Mr. O'Brien has been ground saving. Farther back, between horses, Magistrati. Power Escort is now warming up to the task. Then it's Vangelis, Senior Swinger, Mystery Giver. Hatif is last of 13, leaving the far turn. Here comes Power Escort, and Power Escort and Ipalo. And these two down to the final furlong. Kicking Chris is running in third, followed then by Magistrati and Vangelis down the center of the course. They're coming down toward the wire. Jamie Spencer and Power Escort. And Power Escort has won the Million by 2. Kicking Chris second, Magistrati finished third, and Ipalo was fourth. The time was 2 minutes flat on this firm turf here at Arlington Park. Back to you.
So Power Escort coming in with great connections. The Magna family, of course. John is the majority owner of Manchester United, trained by the great Aidan O'Brien, and Power Escort clearly the best in that stretch, Randy.
And I think this is further illustration after we saw in the Beverly D of sort of what we already knew and what we learn every year in the Breeders' Cup seemingly, and that is that the European turf horses are just simply a cut above the American turf horses. That's the name of their game, running on grass. Over here in the United States, the focus is on dirt. But what we've got here is a horse in Power Escort who is definitely not among the top 5 mile-and-a-quarter horses in Europe. If he's in the top 10, it's just barely. And yet he comes over here, and admittedly in a year in which the American turf horses aren't that strong, but he just dominates in the Arlington Million. You saw Apollo tugging hard on the inside. He had no place to go for a while, but then he got a clear sailing in the stretch, and Power Escort just ran right over the top of him.
And what a performance for the young ace from Europe, Jamie Spencer.
And now you see a look at the head-on as
Wow,
there is a little bit of action down there. I think it mainly involved Apollo. Apollo was sort of racing erratically, and Kickin' Chris might have gotten the worst of it down on the inside.
An inquiry.
But there is an inquiry. It's possible, it's conceivable that Frankie Dettori might have come over and forced Apollo into Kickin' Chris. We'll need to take another look at that. But the wild and woolly finish we had last year with the disqualification of Storming Home, could it be possible that we could see that again? We're going to take one more look at the head-on here now. Watch Frankie Dettori. He's whipping with his right hand now on Powers Court, and he does come over on Apollo. That's Jamie Spencer on Powers Court, and he does come over on Apollo, who then interferes with Kickin' Chris down on the inside. Now watch Kent DeZormo on the inside. Kent DeZormo is aboard Kickin' Chris. He's pointing. Look at him. He's pointing at Jamie Spencer. Look what he did to me. He interfered with me. So we now also have a jockey's objection involved as well. So, Storming Home was the first horse last year ever to be disqualified from first, Brandon, the Arlington Million. And now we have yet another possibility of a DQ here 1 year later. How about that? All four numbers blinking on the board right now. Powers Court was obviously headed to a clear victory. If the stewards look at whether Powers Court was the dominant horse in the race and they let that influence their judgment, I mean, there's no doubt that Powers Court was going by Apollo, and he was going by Kickin' Chris, and he was going to win the race. Yet still, he did come over under right-handed urging by Jamie Spencer to interfere and force Kickin' Chris into the rail with about a 16th of a mile to go.
I honestly thought Apollo interfered more with Kickin' Chris than Powers Court did from the one angle.
Let's take one more look at it from another angle. Far left in the Coolmore colors, that's Jamie Spencer and Powers Court, and he's going at it with his right hand. And that is something that the stewards also look at. If a horse is drifting in, typically they'll do it under right-handed urging. When a jockey's hitting from the right side, they may actually veer to the left. And when a jockey is whipping like that and the horse veers, the stewards sometimes don't take too kind of a view of that. And you can see there, it definitely bothered Apollo, and it definitely bothered Kickin' Chris on the inside as sort of the third in that chain reaction. But
Powers Court already beaten Apollo, though.
He had already gone by Apollo, and he was going to go by Kickin' Chris. But boy, was Kent DeSormo hot. He's got a little bit of a temper anyway, but he was standing in the irons, really pointing. And there you see Jamie Spencer. It's been a hard luck year, all in all, for Coolmore and trainer Aidan O'Brien. They had not won a Group 1 race in Europe outside of their home country of Ireland, which is very unusual for Coolmore. And now they come to the U.S. and they seemingly win a Grade 1, one of the biggest races in the world, the Arlington Million, but could it be taken away from them?
Okay, go ahead.
Spencer is a 23-year-old who just began this year riding first call for Aidan O'Brien. Last year it had been the veteran Mick Cannan. They decided to go to the youth movement this year in Jamie Spencer. And there you see Kent DeZormo is going to appeal his case to the stewards.
This is inside the stewards' room here, Randy. A good view. And, of course, they are looking at all the various angles and trying to make a judgment whether or not it was Powers Court or Apollo that came down. There is no question that Kent DeSormo on Kickin' Chris was interfered with. I think that is rather obvious, trying to slip through on the inside. The question is, who caused the interference? Was it Apollo, or did Powers Court force Apollo down? It's a tough call for the stewards.
They are definitely in the hot seat. Last year with Storming Home, it was pretty obvious because it was very clear that he interfered with Paolini, he interfered with Kayatur in the shadow of the wire. This one is more of a judgment call. Let's listen.
Okay, of course, probably asking which of the stewards speaks German. Janine, you're down there close to the action. What are you hearing?
Well, I'm with Kent DeSormo, who was on Kickin' Chris, who was actually the horse that hit the rail, and Kent was just on the phone with the stewards. What'd you tell them?
Well, I thought the leader, the horse that was in front, just made a beeline to the fence and pushed the horse that was beside me into me abruptly. I mean, and
I really feel in the end that my horse was really much the best, that I would have won easily had this not happened.
How hard did he hit the rail?
Well, when the fans that are watching TV get to see it head on, they'll see my horse was scared to death. He started jumping up and down. He thought he was going to get shoved over the fence, so he was leaping in anticipation of getting shoved over it. That's quite obvious that it was pretty bad.
And actually, number 7, Apollo, also came over on you, and his jockey, Andreas Starka, also has claimed foul, guys.
Well, then Starka is obviously claiming that it was power scored. He agrees with what the DeSormo just said, and now Jamie Spencer.
And I feel watching the video that, you know, he's the moral winner. The third horse shied away from me more than anything. He never made any contact with another horse.
Hello? He's telling the steward's hung up on him, I believe. He's telling the stewards that the other horse shied away from him. He never made any contact, which is theoretically true. I mean, it's actually true. He never made contact, but he came over so severely on Apollo that there was some interference there.
Let's go back to Janine.
Well, I'm here with Jamie Spencer. Tell us what happened, and what did you tell the stewards?
Well, obviously, he's much the best horse. He won by about 4 lengths easy. You know, I didn't feel he caused an interference. Nobody shouted. I never hear anything from behind. He's, you know, he hit the line. He's absolutely run away with the race.
Has he ever kind of veered off a straight and narrow path before?
Not that I recall of.
Blinkers on today, right?
Yeah, blinkers, because he's a little bit lazy.
Do you think that could have anything to do with it?
No.
Do you think you're going to get disqualified?
I'll cry if I do.
Okay, well, don't cry. We don't want you to go home sad, so we'll wait and see what happens. Brent?
Janine, this is really a tough call for the stewards because of trying to figure out, Randy, if Apollo just moved down basically on his own and Powers Court had him whipped, or it was Powers Court's move that caused the interference. And no question, Kicking Chris was interfered with.
And another thing they are trying to decide is, did the interference cost anybody a placing? Okay? That's one of the things the stewards are going to have to ascertain. Kicking Chris wound up defeating Apollo in a photo for second. So Kicking Chris is our unofficial winner. We heard Kent DeZormo say, I would have won easy if it wasn't for the interference. You can see it yourself. It's not the case.
No.
Powers Court was going by him. Kicking Chris was probably going to be a clear second. Personal opinion here, I don't think there's any way Kicking Chris was going to beat Powers Court in here. And that may be ultimately what the stewards decide. I don't know.
Well, I'm tempted to agree with Jamie Spencer that he had the best horse.
Oh, that's obvious. Yes, he did. He had the best horse. Interestingly, he has often been in trouble with the stewards in Europe because he's a very aggressive rider.
Well, we'll have the official ruling when we come back, as the Arlington Million has wound up in controversy again.
Velocity meets versatility. The all-new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum. Open it up from either end. Want more? Get going. You only have until August 31st to get $1,000 bonus cash on the new Hemi-powered Dodge Magnum.
What are you holding now? A six-pack. A six-pack? Brilliant! What's it do? Well, I figured out how to carry 6 beers at the same time. Carry 6 beers at the same time? Brilliant! Let's drink them. You know, I've been thinking, it might not be the smartest idea to drink 6 beers at the same time. Don't drink 6 beers at the same time. Brilliant! Brilliant!
Drink Guinness draft straight from the bottle, and always enjoy it responsibly.
Brilliant!
That's a $1 bill from our first sale. And that's a note from our first client just wishing us luck.
What's this?
That's our first temper tantrum. We needed to ship a package and the UPS store was closed. Steve lost it. But now we go to FedEx Kinko's because they're open late. A lot of them are open 24/7. That's Steve.
The new FedEx Kinko's. Make it, print it, pack it, ship it. Our office is your office.
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.?
Sure, Martin.
Hey, get this to Dale Jr.
Yeah. This is Dale Jr. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep. Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with a picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
I've got a secret, and it's steamy. I've been in hot water before, but not like this, and I can't wait to do it again.
New VO5 Nourishing Oasis. Shampoos and conditioners that are ignited by your shower steamy heat.
Every hair felt revived, like breathing flowers. What condition my condition was in.
New Nourishing Oasis from Alberto VO5.
My secret for killer hair. Boom, boom, boom.
Did anybody see that?
Lost premieres Wednesday, September 22nd, only on ABC.
Moments ago, Powers Court's number was taken down. He places fourth, and the win is given to Kickin' Chris, ridden by the recent addition to the Hall of Fame. Of course, Kent DeSormo reacting to the official's decision. And moved up to second was Magistretti, a 412 exacta. Apollo, number 7, winds up third. Remember, he was also involved in that bumping coming down the stretch. And there you see the officials, a 21-40 winner here today. And the exacta $678.
Ken DeSormo was 0 for 9 in this race before now. A week ago, he didn't have a mount in this race. Edgar Prado was supposed to ride this horse. Prado chose instead to ride Magistretti. DeSormo picks up the mount at the last minute.
And that American hero we spoke about, Michael Matz, does it again. We'll continue here on ABC.
No, 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 wrong.
Mayday, mayday.
Not a good time.
Exactly, not a good time. I said it, I don't like it.
My client? How bad?
What is with the marble? Very, very bad. People don't listen. Too many trees.
Doing the smile thing?
This is a joke, right? Doing it now.
Relax. You're under budget.
We're under budget. We're under budget. We're under budget. I love it. Loves it.
Oh. Coast to coast walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
His bloodlines run back 100 generations. His inheritance is speed, stamina, and courage, along with breathtaking beauty. And with careful management in the hands of experienced men and women, they will also be his legacy. Legacy. Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations.
Introducing the Eat Anywhere Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser.
Hey, can you give this to Dale Jr.? Sure, Martin. Hey, get this to Dale Jr.
Yeah, this is Dale Jr. This goes to Dale Jr.
Yep. Hey, Dale Jr., we got you a cup with your picture on it.
Get the new Dale Jr. Shrimp Cruiser from Long John Silver's, jam-packed with over 30 crunchy shrimps. Only $2.99. Great for whenever you're cruising around.
It's a good-looking cup.
At Long John Silver's.
Our goal for Arlington Park is to be the very best. After the fire, we wanted to rebuild a world-class operation. When we need an aircraft, we need it now. In our business, we go all over the world. NetJet is right there on the spot. The reliability, the service, quality, safety. These are all things that you can't buy someplace else. Time is money. With NetJet, you get on the plane, you go. If we aren't there first, our competitor will be there. There are no seconds in business.
NTRA Super Saturday on ABC Sports, brought to you by Nextel, Done, Bessemer Trust, enhancing private wealth for generations, NetJets, leave nothing to chance, and Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns.
The pick 4 here on Super Saturday pays $5,410. The Superfecta on the Arlington Million, $31,000. They go years without a DQ. Now we have 2 in a row, Randy.
The best thing that could have happened to Kickin' Chris is Jamie Spencer's right-hand whip and the fact that he didn't have a rear-view mirror.
And that wraps it up for Randy Moss, Janine Edwards. I'm Brent Musburger saying so long. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Search ABC Sports. Coming up next now, except on the West Coast, ABC's World